My name is Stevemnsn, and I am the Civil War Guru. And today in for evaluation is another great Confederate sword. The sword was manufactured by Abraham H. Dewitt of Columbus, Georgia. And this is a rare version of Dewitt swords. Most of the Dewitt swords has the standard 1850 foot ulcers pattern guard, and right in here you have the laurel leaves. This is an open, we call it two-branch guard. And there's only one or two other of these even known. One is in the Museum of the Confederacy and is featured in Daniel Hartzell's book on page 247 of Confederate Presentation and Inscribed Swords. And it's also one pictured in Bill Allball's book on page 198. But the one that is featured in the Museum of the Confederacy is identical to this sword. And it's ID'd, as well as this sword is ID'd. This sword is copied off of a 1850 pattern Marine Corps sword. And I know that's going to make everybody scratch their head, but Ames made a pattern for the Marine Corps that had an open two-branch guard. And we were talking to some of the society collectors, the advanced collectors, and we looked at the plate and it's just almost identical in the pattern. So it's a unique pattern for a foot ulcer sword. And with the Abraham Dewitt sword you have his signature style scabbards, which is a wood body, and then it's covered with the leather, and of course top stitched, and then the mounts are applied. The mounts are sheet, copper, and then they're seamed on the top. These are missing the hangers. We can go to the blade now. And the blade's a hand hammered blade, it's not a rolled blade, and it's approximately 31 inches long. This particular sword has 100%, and I'm going to repeat that, 100% of its grip, the leather, with the luster. And it also has 100% of the wire. And if you look at the pommel cap, and our cameraman will get the pommel cap, these are unique pommel caps because they were cast in a gang mode. So they're really, really crude. And so that's another one of the signature things of DeWitt, is he tried mass production and he failed. So in Georgia, in DeWitt's factory, he had an 8-story building. He leased part of it to the Heyman Sword Company, leased part of it to Greenwood and Gray, who made rifles. And he decided that after a year of trying to sell swords to the Confederate government and to the individual officers, that he would just sell out and lease his building. And that's what he did. So virtually he only stayed in business approximately 1 year. But he made a really unique sword, and they're limited numbers, and they're really desirable. And this particular sword, with the unique guard and the grip being 100% there, and it's just, you know, just exactly the way you want to see a Confederate sword. This thing has been stored somewhere, and it's got the wonderful patina on it, which is untouched. And the blade's never been cleaned. It needs a little oil on it. But it's virtually all there other than the drag. And then, of course, put the mount straps are missing. But it's just a wonderful, wonderful sword. And another rare sword by Abraham Dewitt. And this is only the second Dewitt that I've actually brought in and appraised. And this is the rarest of the Dewitts. So we're going to appraise this thing today because of its scarcity for $12,000 to $14,000. So the cameraman's going to get in here and get y'all some close-ups of it and enjoy it, because this is probably the only time you're going to get some real good up-close and personal viewing of a extremely rare sword. So maybe you have one in your closet if you're lucky, or you inherited one's been in your family. But these are one of the premier swords from the Civil War, made in the South. So from the Civil War Guru, have a great day.
you.